You all over there in America need to understand this. Wallahi, you need to understand that you are absolutely on your own. You know, you have a kind of bear that's only in America, the black bear. It's a predatory animal and a scavenger, appropriately so. And when it goes out to find prey, to find food, and it can't find it, well, it comes right back to its den and it eats its own cubs. Forget about the chickens coming home to roost. This is a case of a hungry bear coming home to eat its young. That's what's happening. And you need to start thinking, if you're in America, you need to start thinking about your options. You need to start thinking about what resistance really means for you. Because you only have two choices, really. You really only have two choices, either resistance or escape. In this case, it's important for you to understand that you're dealing with the literal programming of the system, the DNA. You know, it's like the bear. It's like the bear's nature. You're not going to change the bear's nature. It's programmed like that.
What's good, my beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing good. So in this interesting video, Shahid Bolsen, the activist Shahid Bolsen, has an advice for you as an American. But before we go into that, there is a question for you. Would you sell your American citizenship? Looking at the current state of affairs, would you sell your American citizenship for $5 million and leave the country, seek citizenship elsewhere, and continue with your life right there? Let's watch Shahid Bolsen in this short clip, and at the end of this video, I will be right back with a small analysis. So let's go for it.
Trump's so-called gold card program, visa program. You've heard about this? He's offering residency and a path to citizenship for $5 million. This is not an immigration policy, it's a fire sale. He's not offering opportunity to the deserving, you know, the most deserving. He's auctioning off the country to the highest bidder. This isn't about job creation. It isn't about economic development or national prosperity or whatever other hype you might hear. It's about the final commodification of American sovereignty, the absolute monetization of citizenship. It's the selling off of America itself to the national owners and controllers of global financialized capital. Couldn't be clearer. This program that Trump has allows any foreign billionaire, whether it's a Russian oligarch, a sheikh from the Gulf, or a Chinese tycoon, to purchase a permanent U.S. residency and eventually, you know, a path to citizenship for just $5 million. No jobs need to be created. No economic contributions have to be made. No investment. Nothing beyond the payment itself, beyond that $5 million. There's no requirement whatsoever for these individuals to invest or to integrate or assimilate or what have you, or to even live in the country. They're simply paying for a passport. They're paying for a nationality. This policy reveals a stark reality about that government. The American government does not see the United States as a nation anymore. It sees it as real estate. It sees it as an asset to be leveraged, a commodity to be liquidated. The country is not being governed, it's being sold. I mean, some might say, why would a foreign billionaire pay $5 million for this when they can already invest in the U.S.? Well, it has nothing to do with investment. The gold card offers them something that investment can't really offer them, just investment. Unrestricted access, asset protection, political leverage, and legal immunity. Billionaires who secure American residency can gain unfettered access to the U.S. financial system. Their transactions will no longer be subjected to the scrutiny that applies to foreign nationals. You understand? Laundering, money laundering. Their money can flow freely. Their investments can be made effortlessly. Not to mention asset protection. I mean, wealthy individuals who come from, you know, unstable or from authoritarian regimes or what have you, can safeguard their money. They can safeguard their businesses and their families and so forth in the U.S. or with a U.S. nationality, insulating themselves from the risks of political upheaval in their home countries or confiscation by their governments. Not to mention, obviously, they'll get political influence. They'll get to vote. They'll get to fund political campaigns and not be foreign actors. They'll get to lobby the legislature and so forth. Not to mention, they'll be safe from extradition if they're financial criminals. If their home nations or any other nation attempts to extradite them, they'll have the safety of American citizenship. So this gold visa, gold card visa, it's kind of like a get out of jail free card. Not to mention it's a second passport. The ultra rich always like to have extra passports, maintaining multiple nationalities. It's a way to ensure that they have that they'll always have a safe haven. You know, gives them the ability to move freely across the world, evade all restrictions that are imposed maybe in their home countries or other countries and so forth. So in reality, it's not a $5 million investment, it's a $5 million protection racket. What Trump has done is to place a price tag on citizenship, and in so doing, he has revealed the true priorities of those who run that system. It's just money. I mean, think about it. If a refugee who's fleeing from war or persecution seeks asylum in the U.S., they're treated like they're a criminal. If a hardworking migrant worker crosses the border, they're hunted down like an animal. If a skilled professional wants to immigrate legally, they face years upon years of bureaucratic obstacles. But if a billionaire wants to buy a green card, no problem, just write a check. Easy. This policy strips away any illusion that America is a land of opportunity, or that it values contribution, or that it rewards merit. No, the only thing that matters is money. America is no longer a country. You understand? It's an asset class. It's a nation for sale. Trump's policy doesn't serve America, obviously. It doesn't serve the American people, obviously. It serves the national owners and controllers of global financialized capital. They don't see themselves as citizens of any country, of any nation. They operate, as I've said many times, beyond borders, beyond governments, above governments, beyond laws, above laws. Their allegiance obviously isn't to America, it's to capital itself. They extract wealth from every country, but belong to no country. So what does this tell you about the trajectory of global capitalism? It tells you that nations are obsolete. Governance has been replaced by transactions. Citizenship is no longer a birthright. It's not an earned privilege, it's a commodity. Trump's gold card is not a visa program, it's a clearance sale. It's an admission that America has been reduced to nothing but a marketplace. Its government is nothing but a brokerage firm, and its citizenship is just another product on the shelf. I mean, why not tweak that program, honestly? Allow Americans to sell their citizenship for $5 million. Now that makes sense. Let struggling Americans get paid and move out of that country with their newfound millions. That's a program I could get behind. Imagine if, for instance, just 10%, just say 10% of African Americans could sell their citizenship for $5 million each. That's roughly 5 million new millionaires, $25 trillion between them. You can get a Dominican citizenship for an investment of just $100,000. So again, just for instance, you could make the Dominican Republic $25 trillion richer overnight. You know, I'm just saying African Americans because they have the most obvious reasons for being interested in selling their citizenship, since they don't get much out of it in the first place. But if you offered a program like that in reality, well, I think that you'd see that country empty out. I mean, ask yourself, if you're an American, what would you rather have? American citizenship or $5 million? $5 million and the opportunity to get citizenship elsewhere and have all the safety and all the security that comes with being that rich. I think for most Americans, that's a no-brainer. Retaining your citizenship is never going to secure for you that kind of wealth. It's never going to secure that kind of wealth for you. It's never going to give you that kind of freedom, and it's never going to give you that kind of security. And I think you know it. Well, I think you ought to ask for this, actually. You know, Trump already opened the door for it. I think you ought to demand the right to sell your citizenship, since he's already treating it like a product, like an asset that can be bought and sold. So why can't the people who already possess that asset, who already have that product, why can't they sell it? Isn't that capitalism? Isn't that the free market? You know, why can't every individual citizen become a seller of their own citizenship? I mean, Trump started it. Anyone in the world ought to be able to buy American citizenship on eBay. Then, in fact, forget about selling it. If American citizenship is worth $5 million, well, shouldn't we be entitled to a refund? I mean, I don't know about you, but I sure never got $5 million worth of value from my citizenship. Did you? Well, I think the government ought to buy it back, just like corporations, you know, with their share buybacks and so on. You can have it. Give me that $5 million and we'll be on our way. Who wouldn't go for that deal? Well, you'd see that whole country depopulated within days. But seriously, I think that you're going to have to think in terms of how you're going to ride this avalanche, and don't fool yourself ever into thinking that you can ever stop it or that you can reverse it. No, you are surfing on a landslide. If you're an American, and you're going to have to pay attention to the way that that landslide is moving, to adjust your position accordingly to make sure that you don't fall and get swallowed into it. That's what's happening. And the unfortunate reality is that the power structure has spent decades making sure that you are not equipped to deal with this. That's the truth. Making sure that you don't have the intellectual faculties, that you don't have the material faculties, that you don't have the social skills, the community building skills, or any understanding of solidarity that you need to survive. Why the American people have become literally the fatted calf, ready for slaughter. I mean, look around you. Honestly, look around you. The American people have been fattened up physically, intellectually, psychologically, like livestock being prepared for the slaughter. I mean, this isn't just about obesity rates, literally, even though those are skyrocketing. This is about a whole population that has been systematically weakened, has been systematically softened, and they've been made utterly dependent to the point where they can't even recognize their own captivity. This is the situation that you're in. I mean, just look at, like I say, even literally, look at the bodies of Americans. 30% of U.S. adults in 1999 were obese. Now it's over 40%. And severe obesity, the kind that cripples mobility, that causes diseases, that makes you incapable of even basic physical autonomy, that's doubled in the last 2 decades. Children are following the same trajectory. I mean, childhood obesity rates have tripled since the 1970s. Well, what does that mean? It means that the system has literally engineered a society where people are too sedentary, they're too sluggish, they're too unhealthy to resist. They're too dependent on medications and on processed food and so on. You're not being prepared for a future of strength and independence. You're being prepared for culling. And no, it's not just physical. Intellectually, the decline is just as dramatic. You know, global assessments rank the U.S. embarrassingly low in literacy, in mathematics, in problem-solving skills. We're talking about a country that prides itself supposedly on being the leader of the free world, yet its people struggle to comprehend basic information, struggle to apply logic, to critically assess what's even happening around them. Do you understand what that means? It means that the majority of people are functionally incapable of defending themselves. They're functionally incapable of defending themselves or protecting themselves against manipulation. They don't have the intellectual tools to resist. They have been rendered deliberately passive. And the people know it themselves. The people are aware of this. You know, polls show that the Americans themselves know that they are experiencing moral and intellectual decline. But they also believe that it's always been getting worse, that this is just the way things are. This is psychological engineering at its finest, convincing the whole society that its decay is natural and inevitable. Your food is poisoned, your education is hollowed out, your physical strength is eroded, your attention span is destroyed. You're not being prepared for leadership. You're not being prepared for self-sufficiency. You're not being prepared for resilience. You're being prepared to be used and discarded. And the worst part is that you've been made to accept it. So, I mean, the question is, are you going to keep grazing in the pasture, getting softer and softer, getting weaker and weaker, just waiting for the inevitable? Or are you going to break free? Try to regain some kind of strength and refuse to be led to the slaughter, because let me tell you something, no one's coming to save you. It's on you to wake up and to resist. I don't know if you're ready for the challenge, because like I said, they have literally been making sure for decades that you aren't ready. I mean, you're going to need to build communities, and I don't mean just hosting block parties or going to neighborhood cookouts. I'm talking about literally building parallel community level power structures, localized independent economies, your own supply chains, your own resources, and I mean basic needs resources like food and water, education networks, community policing, and so on. And you can learn some of this, a lot of this actually, you can learn a lot of this from the Global South. I mean, do you know that there's areas in Pakistan, there's whole areas of Pakistan where the army won't even go. because the local leaders there in those areas have built such strong parallel power structures that they function almost like autonomous zones. Well, like I've talked about before, some of those prisons in the global south, especially in South America, where the guards don't even go into the prison cells, or they don't even go into the cell blocks, because the prisoners, the inmates, have seized full control. Well, that's your situation. You're prisoners. You're inmates, not citizens. Understand this. You are inmates of America. You're not residents and you're not citizens. You're inmates. And if you can't find your way out of that prison, well, then you're going to have to find some kind of way to consolidate some degree of autonomous control where you are. Now, I'm only telling you how things are shaping up over there. That's all I'm saying. You can do whatever you want with it. But realistically, this is what you're facing. This is the reality that you're facing. This is the future that you're facing. That American bear, that corporate bear, went looking for prey in the global south because that's where all the prey used to be. But now the global south has got its own bears. So that bear is coming right back to you. And you're going to have to be ready.
All right, so let's talk about these Trump's proposed gold card visa program. Now, once a land of opportunity, a land where dreams come true, it seems that the United States of America is quickly turning into a place where does not value contribution and it does not reward merit exactly. It's becoming a place where the highest bidder gets an opportunity, where the rich people thrive at the expense of the poor. But in this case here, the question still now remains for you. Would you take the $5 million and leave America for good, or would you retain your 5 million, your citizenship, and not have the money? Now, I think for me, this proposal by Donald Trump to sell American citizenship for $5 million, and at the same time proposing to do away with or to scrap off citizenship, American citizenship by birth, is ironical and it's crazy. But at the same time, it clearly reveals who Donald Trump and his regime is. That they're out here for business and not exactly governance. They're out here to make money for the corporate, through the corporate, from the corporate, and the interest is not actually the problems of the day-to-day problems of the American people. Shahid Bolsen has likened the American people to a calf that is being fattened for slaughter in all senses, be it physically or even psychologically, that the American people are just getting fattened by the system itself so that they get slaughtered at the end of it all. And he has also at the same time likened the system, the American system, to a hungry bear that goes out to hunt and fails to get prey. And what does it do? It goes back to its den to eat the young ones. The young ones being the American people, and the bear being the American system. So if we just slightly go down the rabbit hole into this analysis, Shahid Bolsen's critical analysis of Trump's proposed gold visa program, which offers US presidency and a pathway to citizenship for a $5 million payment. So Bolton characterizes this initiative as a clearance sale, suggesting it reflects a commodification of American citizenship and portrays the nation as nothing but just a mere marketplace. And then he further interprets the program as an indication of the US government's desperation to raise revenue, implying that such measures are akin to a fire sale. To a fire sale. So Bolton also proposes that the BRICS nations should, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and other nations, pledging their allegiance to BRICS, should recognize diaspora communities in America, drawing a parallel to the logic behind Trump's Gold Card visa program, which he views as commoditizing American citizenship and the American people. Clearly, Donald Trump, we all know he is a businessman, he is a business mogul, but he is not actually drawing a line between governing the people of America, and making his dollars. Because if he can question citizenship by birth, but at the same time feels like it is right to sell that citizenship for $5 million, then that's a man who is out on business. And American people need to, I also believe that American people need then to also get the opportunity, or it should be suggested then, that if American citizenship can be sold to the rich, then those that are willing to sell it can also then decide to give it away for that same amount, because it's becoming a marketplace. Yeah, that is what I had for you. I don't know what you think on Shahid Bolsen's take on those proposals by Donald Trump. Please share your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Like and share this video, and please subscribe to this channel if you have not yet done so. So until next time, see you in the next video. Peace out.